This is Cosmo Royale telling you to get ready for Gazbot and the Big Dog Defender. Action activate!
Here we come! There they go! People rise! 'Cause they know we're super soldiers! We got cool clothes! You will soon! You see our pose! Tension! Energize! Let's go! Time to ride! Combine! Grease ties!
Hello, welcome back to me and you live after 2 weeks. I am Gazbot. This is Action Activate. If I'm Gazbot and this is Action Activate, well then with me as always.
It's the big dog. I'm back, not wearing a sweatshirt like I was yesterday.
Oh, I'm wearing a hoodie and I got my Godzilla shirt.
I have a Day to Remember shirt on, but
Okay, all right.
I like it.
What's-
It's a
you
long
know, what's
shirt.
the other thing you always wear?
It's a little chilly on the West Coast.
Yes, well at least we're not flooded. At least I'm not. I assume you're not as well.
My house is not flooded. Can't
Okay, there you
speak
go.
for the general 20-mile radius, but I'm good.
Yeah, so we're doing live. We kind of didn't announce it too far ahead of time. We got a couple people watching. Hello to Psycho Orange and Matt. We missed 2 weeks, and that's my fault. I went on a trip to Disney World, and I knew that was going to happen, and we banked an episode. Then that episode played, got back from Disney World, got COVID. So then my fault, but sickness. So we missed a week or two because of that. So that's why we're back now. Now here's the other thing. Also my fault. I'm not sure what episodes we're going to have in the next few weeks because without getting into it too much, life here is crazy and everything's fine, but the schedule is nuts and I don't know that I'm going to be able to commit to doing a show for the next few weeks, but I don't want there to be nothing. So we're doing this. And then Big Dog might do some solo shows or some other stuff. Maybe I'll jump in. Maybe we could do an episode, but setting expectations. We haven't abandoned the channel. It was just COVID hit us. And now I have other crazy stuff going on for a few weeks. So that's
In the immortal words of Ian Malcolm, life finds a way.
There you go. Hello to Dark Keeper as well. So we don't have a structure. We haven't even talked about, hey, do we want to have a topic or anything? No. So we could talk about Power Rangers. We could talk about anything. If you guys have questions, concerns, topics, throw them out there. Otherwise, we'll just ramble at each other because Big Dog and I haven't had a conversation in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a while. The last thing I said was, hey, how you doing? And you went, sick. Last seen on whatever date it was.
Yeah, and that was the conversation. The last conversation we had before that was like, I'm going to Disney World. So, yeah.
How you feeling?
I feel fine. There's a little bit of a sniff here and there, but I was only really sick, seriously sick for like 2 days, and then maybe for that week I was like sick, and then I'm fine now. My mom didn't fare as well. She's not in the hospital or anything, but she was sick before me and is still sicker than I am now. Like that's like the COVID you read about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's been weeks.
Your mom's a nice lady. I hope her the quickest recovery she can get.
Yeah. And Matt says that. I mean, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Matt says that's Action Activity for you, the Ramble Show. Yeah, absolutely. This is the Ramble Show.
Speaking of rambling,
Yes.
I'll keep it semi-Ranger related.
Okay.
Is there any Ranger stuff that's happened with you the last couple weeks? Have you gotten any Ranger stuff? Have you read any Ranger stuff?
Okay, I got a few things I could say. Well, one thing, my tech advisor Erzuki, my wife, when I was sick, I was isolated in a room, and even when I started feeling better, I couldn't really do much, fun. And she ordered off my Amazon wish list Lost Galaxy Pink for me.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was nice. So that was the most recent Lost Galaxy Lightning Collection figure I've gotten in a little while, and she probably paid full price. That's the other thing. It was a full price kind of recent figure as opposed to a Ross acquisition. So that was pretty cool. Also, I think I already talked about this, the Selwyn Ward team up print thing.
Remind me, because it's been a while.
Okay. Selwyn Ward, TJ from Power Rangers Turbo and In Space. I met him at Ranger Stop. Long thing went through, and basically he worked with me to create a red Turbo turning into a blue In Space print artwork, which I created. He liked it. It is a nice figure, Dark Keeper. I getting back to the figure, I didn't like the face until I realized I had accidentally thrown away the glasses because it's all little paper. When I put the glasses, I'm like, oh, that's much better. But so he and I collaborated on this print. I did the image. He liked it. And then he got some of both of his Ranger headshots for me and that one, and is now taking it to shows. I know he's done at least one show with them. And I just recently updated my Etsy shop where I now have that print on my Etsy shop. It's Gazbot. You can find it pretty easily. The newer news, which might be what you were alluding to, is my local comic shop. I live in Riverside, and there's a comic shop called Graham Crackers Comics. There's a few of them in this area, but this one is in Marietta. I had done an event there with voice actor Pete Capella, who does Silver the Hedgehog, and I'd done a print for him, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I asked him about, hey, do you want to do an event with Selwyn and I have that art with him, and they're talking to him. Nothing's happened with that yet. That might not happen, might happen, whatever. But then like a week later, they're like, hey, we're not sure what's going on with that, but do you know who Jason Font is? And I'm like, yeah, Time Force Red? Yeah, I know who Jason Font is. And they're like, he's going to be at the shop, having nothing to do with like what we talked about, just kind of randomly happening. Do you want to come sell your Power Rangers art when he's here? I'm like, yes, I do. And I have a whole team of Time Force already, so I don't have to create it. So that's going to be in March. If you follow my social media, you can find it. Or if you follow his social media, I'm sure I'll mention it, which will be interesting because I don't think I've ever met him. I've seen him at a lot of shows.
I was going to say, I don't think you formally met him.
No, I have done art of him. And I know my art has been signed by him, by lots of people. And I think even I met his wife. And I think she got one and gave it to him. And I've seen him around. We may have like head nodded in a hotel, but I've never actually. Oh, by the way, I'm Gazbot, the artist. I do
gas
actually
station, hotel, ice cream shop.
Right, yeah, there's never. So it's this weird thing where like, yeah. So we will meet. Where this is important to the Action Activate viewers is I don't know if I'll be able to do an interview, but when I did the event with Pete Capella, it was busy, and then it would get like there'd be a lull around lunchtime and stuff, and we'd just kind of be twiddling our thumbs. If that happens, I imagine maybe I could do a quick interview with him. If that happens, I'm certainly capable of coming up with my own questions, and Big Dog will shoot me some. But if anybody has any questions they want me to ask Jason Font, given the opportunity, put them in the comments on this video, and I will do my best to bring them to him should that chance arise. And that will be in March. So you got time. You could think about it and comment tomorrow, the next day, whatever. Or if you're watching this video anytime before then, you still have a chance to do it. But either way, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'll probably take some pictures and video and whatever. So I think that's it. I think that's a pretty good update, though.
Yeah, well, that's a really good update. And Matt actually said you hadn't mentioned that it was Selwyn on the show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had to keep it on the down low until it was official. Actually, I could show you the art if you talk for a minute. I'll just grab it.
Yeah, no, that was really cool. I saw actually, I think it was Graham Cracker that posted that Jason Font was going already. So
yeah,
I think that's cool. Honestly, like we go to so many of these things anyway. It is really cool when there's like the stars aligning of like, hey, instead of just going, do you want to participate? Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's kind of been a through line with my artwork and also Action Activate, because we've got to host some panels and you be part of it, as you said.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I see. Matt was saying it's Selwyn. Okay, so this is not even new art. This was my Turbo Red, and this was my In Space Blue. And I had a couple of years ago given them to him at Ranger Stop, and he's like, thanks, and he signed a few. That's kind of a common thing that I'll give them to the Ranger actors, and they'll say thank you, and they'll sign some in return for me without me asking. And what I noticed is he had them on his table at displays ever since. Like I see him on social media, and people have told me like, oh, he's interested in getting more of these. And that I'd heard that. And so when I talked to him, he was interested in getting more. But then I said, hey, how about we do it together? And this is the one we did together.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was pretty happy with that.
Art. I think really good editing too. I'm sure that's not your first rendition of it. So
no,
sure whatever.
Well,
creative tips
why would you say that as someone that I showed other concepts to previously? No, I had a few concepts that I showed to a few people, including the Big Dog and Selwyn, of course. And then that was the direction we went in. And, Selwyn's input was the main thing he said was I always get asked, aside from, hey, do you sell these headshots, which he previously didn't, but now does. Do you have anything with both your Rangers in one? And so that's what he wanted. And I showed him a few ideas. And he said, like, I like this one. I don't like this one. And I said, okay, out of the ones you like, this is the one I like. He said, go for it. And then there we go.
Really, all I heard was Selwyn said, I trust your artistic process. And you said, Big Dog, I don't know which of these to go with. What should I do? And I went, that right there's the winner, brother.
Well, I'll say this also. We've sung the praises of Selwyn Ward before. But working with him on like a business art thing, he was easy and lovely, and just every interaction I've had with him as a fan, as a coworker, whatever you want to call it, as anything, has always been lovely. Psycho Orange says, I rewatched Lost Galaxy today, and I wonder if a new team was chosen by the Sabers. It'd be interesting if fan-made sequel. That is a good idea, actually, with all the fan-made stuff, which usually gravitates towards Mighty Morphin, but that
seems like a very easy thing to slot into like Unworthy or like the expanded universe kind of thing, where like I could easily have them, somebody's got a cosplay and they're like, oh, here's Jonathan, the new Blue Ranger, because
because at the end of the season they put him back, though. Like a lot of times it's like, what happened to the Morphers? They kept the Morphers, whatever. But this was literally like, we're gonna put him back for the next crew to find him. Excuse me. And Matt likes the Turbo Blue Space. Yeah, like I said, it was his. He wanted the two mixed, and then it was a matter of coming up with it. So, but I was pretty happy with how it came out.
Well, that's cool. I'm excited for your upcoming Ranger projects.
Thank you. So now, you know what? I actually have a commission too that I can't talk about, but just not with a celebrity, but with somebody commissioned me to do a Power Ranger piece of work.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. But that's after a Godzilla commission I have. But anyway, you, sir, what do you got going on Power Rangers wise? What's your
Power Rangers wise? I haven't watched anything in a while, but while back, I auditioned for a fan series called Power Rangers Ancient Age.
Great.
Where they needed some veteran Rangers, and if there's one thing I am, it's that. I'm just kidding. But I got the role of Lightspeed Red, and obviously with these series, it's nobody's a production company of their own. Everybody has lives and jobs and stuff, so it sometimes takes longer. But they had reached out, and I had obviously some life stuff happen in the last few months. And they were like, hey, do you have those lines? And I was like, I do, actually. So I got my lines sent over.
Wait, so you recorded them, but they didn't ask for them?
So here's what I did. I practiced my lines, and then I was like, when they need them, I will then record them. So I'm like, more polished.
Right.
And I feel pretty good on them. I haven't gotten the edits back, because it's very much like I do them all, send whatever edits they need, I'll do. So now I'm in that phase. I have no idea when something's coming out. I know eventually you might hear me as a Ranger at some point, and if we do,
are you allowed to say which one?
To your
I know which one, but are you allowed to say it publicly?
To what?
Which Ranger?
I led with that.
Oh, okay. Because you just said you might hear me as a Ranger, and I was distracted, to be fair, because I was looking at this, which is spam. And I was like, oh, what is this? Who is this? And then I'm like, oh, we've made it. We've got spam bots. That's the first time I've ever gotten that. So
nice.
I was a little distracted. Sorry.
But Lightspeed Red is who I am. Yeah. So I'm I won't say anything, but I'm in scenes as much as you get. I am involved in an episode.
Gotcha.
At least one.
Well, if only there was some medium where we could review such indie toku stuff, but
I was thinking about that. I kind of want you to do a cold review on your own, and then we would both talk about it.
Okay, you sure?
Oh yeah.
I feel like I'm harder on them than you are.
Oh no, absolutely. That's kind of why I want that, because I'll be really biased and either be too harsh because I'm self-critical, or too apologetic if I'm like, well, hey, here's the thing you got to keep in mind.
Okay, so I would do it by myself, not together where you sit there listening to me, but I would just do one, and then we'd sit down and talk about it.
Kind of like what we did with the first episode of Cosmic Fury.
Yeah, that makes more sense, because I pictured like the two of us watching it and me going, I think this, and you just been, like that's gonna be weird. Okay, yeah. Well, whenever that comes out, I'm totally down to do that for sure.
But that's really the latest. With Ranger news, not a lot. But a couple cool fun things that I saw is there's this third-party company called like Tree something. I don't remember the name, but I sent you the pics where they're making 1/12 scale, which is 6-inch cloth Tommy figures. They're making white, and they're making Bat in the Sun green version.
Yes, I was trying to look that up right now,
and it looks kind of cool. I have it's not open next to me, but I have the Mezco green, which is awesome, and the different version of green I think would be really cool. because
Yeah,
you
that
can.
in the Sun / V2 or whatever. Like, yeah,
I was
don't
gonna
think
say
anything-
you could kind of fudge it as your comic one if you really wanted to, which is what I would probably do. But as Gaz is pulling that up, there's that.
I'm
and
not
then,
gonna. I can't find it easily. I would need the name of the company, I think.
let me see if I can find it.
Okay,
Um,
well, as he's pulling it up, then I will vamp and talk. Yeah, Lightning Collection, as we know, is on hiatus, winding down. But there are still a few things out now that are like current, including the remastered Mighty Morphin, which Big Dog was. This is his news, but I'll just talk about it. Like, he was saying that he had pre-order for Green from, I think, Big Bad Toy Store, which basically was like, yeah, sorry, Hasbro can't confirm this is coming. And I actually, after talking to him, I looked around and I saw a few things with that where like most of them are available at retail or maybe a little bit below, but green and red seem to be difficult to get. And not just like, oh, they're sold out, but like, did they come out? Are they being shipped? What's going on? Like,
yeah.
And then
it's interesting for sure.
Dark Keeper is saying, oh, and it's Dark Keeper. I just realized the icon is Dark Keeper. It would be interesting to have Power Rangers and Mortal Kombat like super. Yeah, that would be cool to have them in Mortal Kombat like super powered beatdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Green Ranger would be the obvious
better.
Yeah,
with that. Sorry, I clicked
I
on
would love
a
a
link
fatality where
like,
Green Ranger uses the flute and the Dragonzord just steps on the enemy or something, like complete overkill. Are you still looking for these third-party figures?
Yeah, I found a link for an image anyway. I'll put it in
Send it to the
private.
private chat, and I'll show everybody if I can.
There we go. No, I was clicking on a different link, and it was like loading a site, which made me a little nervous. So I was like, no.
Oh, yeah. All right, I got it. I'm going to share it in a second.
This isn't the best of it, but it's kind of cool. You can get the gist of it. It also comes with unmasked heads. The Tommy, the Green Ranger Tommy has like shorter hair when he's older, and then the other one is like a TV Tommy with the ponytail.
Right. Okay. So.
But pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, they have a bunch of 33 toys, or is that just this is the site that's selling?
I think that's the site. Yeah.
Okay. So pre-order
That's
tree.
super small, by the way.
Is it? Hold on, let me see what we got going. Oh yeah, I zoomed in, but it's not zooming in. Hold on. Is it still not zooming in?
No.
Zoom, baby. All right, let me open up a different window.
Okay. And then for other Ranger review news, I know before we started the show, I was big on watching this person's reviews. Gaz had seen them here and there, but Linkara just posted his history of Cosmic Fury, which I'm curious to watch.
Oh, you know, that Linkara was a big part of getting me back into Power Rangers, like season by season. And at some point, because of YouTube messing around over, like they weren't available. So I watched all of his reviews up to somewhere and then fell off. But now that you've said that, I've got to go back and catch up on him.
Yeah, he's re-uploaded a lot because he got like copyright struck on like most of them because of like audio, I think. So he had to re-edit all of them and then re-upload.
Yeah, audio will get you for sure. I don't know if this is going to be better, but I'll try. Okay, it's starting off small. When can I make them bigger? Is this? It's a little bit better.
That's a lot bigger, so it looks better.
Okay. So yeah. So here's what you were talking about with the short hair. The likeness on Tommy, like as a Jason David Frank, is not great.
Yeah.
I think green Bat in the Sun head is a better one. This white one is weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
But his figures are cool.
How much are these? $70 each?
About what a Mezco is.
Yeah. I mean, the price isn't bad for what they are, but honestly, I would only consider getting the Bat in the Sun version because that's like the only version of it I've seen. But the White Ranger, while decent, like there are other options.
So here's the thing. The White Ranger and Green Ranger from Mezco are both exclusives.
Right.
So they're both like
right, but I'm saying that there's like Lightning Collection versions, and then there's Legacy versions and SH Figure Arts. Like it's not like the only version I've ever seen official of Bat in the Sun is this one. White Ranger, there are other options. Yes, these might be a better choice than Mezco potentially because of cost and things like that.
But those were my two latest things that I saw as of like the last week or so. But yeah, the coin flip of is remastered getting a re-release is interesting.
Yeah. And I basically my thought was I wasn't going to get them unless they became easy to get or clearance order. But the main one I did want was green because weirdly I was one of those people that got when Tommy came out and it was the Fighting Spirit version with the silver. I had like 3 of those, and I never got the regular version either time it came out. And so I was like, well, maybe I'll get the remastered. But then there was that thing, you got to get red. That really angered me. So I was waiting to see if I could find a reasonable thing. And now it's like, oh, I might just have Fighting Spirit Tommy forever. That might just be the one I have.
Did you ever get Draken or no?
Yeah, I have the exclusive one, you mean? Or the regular
The
one?
Comic-Con one, yeah.
Yeah, on the with all the lightning and the black. Yeah.
So you can put the Green Ranger cracked helmet, which doesn't have the stripe on Tommy. I did that for a bit.
Sure, but it's still not the exact right helmet. Like that's an interesting, fun thing to do, but it's not like the Tommy, the perfect Tommy or whatever you want to call it.
What was I going to say?
I'm looking
There's
at my
another
thing.
thing. Oh, on a podcast recently, I'm forgetting her name, but if somebody in the chat knows, let me know. But one of the brand people from Power Rangers, who's also on G.I. Joe, was asked like, "What's up with Power Rangers?"
Really?
And she was like, "They're taking time off from the brand. I don't know." So she actually said the words out loud.
I don't know, or they're taking time off.
Well, because she's not going to say.
They've said that. They've said they're going on hiatus.
No. They have not said it. MCU Collector 24 said, "I spoke to somebody at Comic-Con who told me this, but no words out of someone who works from Hasbro's mouth has said it on record."
Okay. Well, I mean, it's self-evident, whether or not a show is going to come out, like the fact that other than the comics, that's actually not exactly true because 3-0 and other companies are doing things. So they're Hasbro partners. They have to license it. So Hasbro isn't literally doing nothing. And it feels like nothing because they own it now and they're letting other people do it. And the reason I say this, because as someone who's collects a lot of different stuff and has followed Hasbro, there are properties Hasbro owns that they literally do nothing with and don't let anybody else do anything with. So it's like the fact that there is stuff coming out from other companies is better. It's bad as it is. It could be worse. You know what I mean? There are plenty of things they own that just they sit on.
Speaking of which,
yes,
you and I haven't talked in depth about the 3-0 Zeo Rangers.
They look nice. They look very nice.
They look so nice.
I don't plan on getting any of these 1/6 scale Rangers. If I did, literally what would happen is the case of 6-inch figures behind me would be sold and disappear, and I would replace it with a couple nice 6-inch figures. But I'm not wanting to do that right now. But I'm definitely not collecting another scale.
So what you're saying is, if they came out with Samurai Gold, Jungle Fury Purple,
or red,
or who would be another random one-off that you go, don't care, I'll make it work, I'll get them?
I mean, those are good ones that you just said. Yeah.
Would you get a TJ?
I don't know, because I like TJ more than I like his suits. You know what I mean? A random one-off. Well, see, here's the thing. A random one-off, like if let's say they made Samurai Gold, and let's say they made Jungle Fury Red. At that point, I'd probably get Mighty Morphin Green. Because, like, once I broke the seal, like, Mighty Morphin Green is one of my all-time favorite suits. So, like, if I got any, I would get it. But, I don't know. But, again, it'd be literally because money is part of it and space is part of it. And I don't have space for another collection. So I would have to get rid of all of this, or at least a shelf's worth, and say, okay, these are, and then it'd be what can I fit on there? And I'm trying to think. I don't know. The ones you said are like really good, like heavy hitters. There are probably others that I'm blanking on right now, but
one thing, slight pivot. Matt had mentioned we still need a steel figure. I remember many moons ago. Let me just limber up. I don't want to pull anything. I remember many moons ago.
I'll give you one of these.
When Beast Morphers was out, they had the basic figures, and it was right about when we were getting Lightning Collection in the beginning.
Yes.
And I had got the basic figures.
Yes.
And you're like, well, I'm not going to get these and the Lightning Collection, so why would I even bother getting any of these? And I was like, well, you should probably hold on to, like, the ones they haven't made just in case. You're like, they're not going to not finish a team that's currently out. That's preposterous.
Right. Well, I stand by my statement that it's preposterous. It happened. I was wrong, but it is preposterous. But also, I feel like you're setting me up. No, you're not getting a Ninja Steel because you're setting it up to be like, don't I wish I kept those? I'll tell you two things. One, I have a bunch of that basic line, including Roxy, and I maybe even have Steel. I think I do have Steel, or I did. And they're all in a bag in my garage. because they don't scale with these, and I don't want them on my display, even though I need those characters. So I either have sold them or they will be sold depending on which exact figure it is. So I have no regrets on that. I also, I don't think you could see it. I don't know where it is right now, but I have a vinyl from Japan. So Fubi 6-inch.
That one's cool.
That scales. It's not as posable, but it looks fine. So that to me was like, well, that's the stand-in, not the 5.5-inch or whatever the other scale is.
That reminds me, I still need to do a surgery on my Bokenger Sofubi that I got at
Because you want
Morphicon.
to turn it into the overdrive onto yeah.
I'll do it eventually. He said,
Yeah.
years in the making. I know there haven't really been any questions, and no pressure to you guys, but if you have any, ask us. Otherwise, we're just going to keep rambling and ask each other questions.
Well, and the other thing is, given what I said about my potential unavailability for the near future, if you have suggestions of like, oh, well, we'd like to see Big Dog do this, or could you try to do this, or maybe Gaz can't show up for the show, but he could do something because that's the thing. Getting together at a certain time and recording together and uploading on a certain schedule is the part that's going to be difficult. So if there are ideas for something that I could do by myself, Big Dog could do by themselves, or anything, just like any little format things you'd like to see or questions, or we could even do a thing where like if you guys throw out questions later, one of us could jump on and be like, hey, somebody asked a question, just like a little short or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. We got Dark Keeper saying, be cool if the In-Space Ranger and SPD squad battled each other. Yeah, I mean, I will say, as a lifelong comic book superhero guy too, as much as it's this trope that people make fun of, there is nothing better to me in the world than like, I'm Snake Eyes. I'm looking for the bad guy. Oh, I'm Kendricks. Me too. What? You must be the bad guy. Fight, 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 fight. Okay, now we're friends. I want that to happen always with everybody. So yes, I agree. I would love to see any two teams fight.
That reminds me.
Oh. Big Dog's been reminded of something. He's looking. Will he find it?
I'm looking at my backlog of comics that are next to me that I need to read.
Nice.
There's those. There's the new Transformer series. Which
I have that
seems really
exact.
cool.
I have that exact issue right here as my next thing to read.
Yep. Ooh, this one I'm very excited to read, and I was lucky enough to snag a copy.
Is that new?
Yes.
Okay. So is that Peter Parker or Miles?
Yeah, so they're relaunching the Ultimate Universe. And as spoiler free as I can get, it essentially had a butterfly effect of like that universe from 20 years ago is there, but somebody went and changed a couple things around which dominoed. So
Gotcha.
Peter Parker is married to Mary Jane, has 2 kids, and just got bit by the spider. So he's like in his 40s and now a Spider-Man.
That's interesting because we've seen Peter Parker gotten old having been Spider-Man, but we haven't seen Oh, that's relatable. That's relatable content to me. And you.
He has a beard.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about it. I'm looking forward to that. And then the last 2 in this immediate stack are Moon Man, which is Kyle Higgins and Kid Cudi.
Okay. Kyle Higgins, former writer of Power Rangers.
And Radiant Black, which I have a huge backlog of. And then
I have
Ranger
not read a
Academy.
single issue, and I've probably got 20 of them.
Oh, for Radiant Black?
Yeah. I've Radiant
It's
Black,
good.
Radiant Pink, Sun, Black Sun. I have a bunch of those.
Speaking of, and I
Yeah.
know I do this very randomly, there's still like I think a week and a half left. For anybody who reads digitally or just likes a good deal and supporting charity, Humble Bundle right now has the whole Radiant universe for $18 digitally on Humble Bundle to support charity.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Radiant. Not Power Rangers related, but you always have my comics, and I have not been like. And I think I may have mentioned this to you, or maybe you saw it online, because I got really into this comic it's a Korean manga. Did we talk about this?
I saw you post about it personally.
Okay. It's the translation I found, and it might be a slight mistranslation, but it's basically like the skeleton warrior failed to defend the dungeon, which is a weird title, even having read 100 chapters of it. It's just like, I guess, kind of like, but it something about it grabbed me. The bummer is I like physical media. So I was like, well, I like this. I'm going to buy the book. No, can't buy. You can find really expensive copies on eBay in Korean. Don't want that. And I can't even find an online, like a reputable online distributor. I've found a lot of like spammy ones. And then I found this one site which you pay, but it's like not even clear if the artist gets the money. And I'm like, oh, this is, and as an artist, I'm like, I want to buy the thing from the artist and I can't. So the best I can do is tell everybody about it. But it's the short, like the first couple pages, not giving anything away, is basically it starts with like a skeleton warrior trying to defend its master and they get killed. The skeleton warrior and the master. And then they wake up in their grave 20 years earlier when they were first resurrected as a skeleton warrior.
That's cool.
And it goes from there. And there's twists and turns and things, but it's got a little bit it's a little, I don't want to even say much more than that, but it's interesting. It was a unique enough premise that I'm like, okay, I'm going for the ride.
How much manga or webtoons have you read prior to this?
I mean, I have not read a lot of manga.
Okay.
I've read not a zero amount. In today's day and age, I've read like, well, people be like, you've read none. But like 20 years ago, I would have been somebody like, yeah, I've read more manga than most people. You know what I mean? Because like the generation gap and stuff, you know. So I've watched more anime than I have read manga. This is probably the first Korean manga I've ever read. Mm-hmm. So it could, if your question might be like, oh, is it that good? Or is it just that I don't know the tropes and things like this have been done before, but it's new to me? That could absolutely be possible.
It wasn't that at all. It was, I happen to also, completely unrelated to you, get more into manga lately.
Oh, okay.
So I'm reading Demon Slayer right now.
I've heard of Demon Slayer.
It's really good so far. What else? My cousin's really into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I've wanted to watch that anime just based on the crazy designs.
So I'm starting it, and I know it's going to be a journey because when I Googled how long it is, the suggested search was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is longer than One Piece.
What?
It technically is.
How?
Because it came out sooner. One Piece came out at the end of the 90s and just hasn't stopped. JoJo's had a slower pace, but started in 87.
Oh, wow. I thought JoJo's was newer. But I'm basing that on the fact that I only heard about it a couple years ago.
Same. So as I've done a deep dive.
Right. I will say real quick again to the people in the audience that are watching live with us, thank you. You'll notice we're drifting away from Power Rangers.
Yeah.
If you want to bring us back, throw out a comment or question.
Feel free. Yeah.
Yeah, but we've been talking for about a half hour and we're starting to drift and ramble all over the place at this point. So on that note, I'm going to take us far from Power Rangers. Although, maybe 10 years ago, it wouldn't be that far because it would have been Disney. Because at Disney World, I got my lightsaber from Savi's workshop. The experience was very fun, and I enjoyed it very much. I would never buy another lightsaber from Disney ever again. It's maybe the worst lightsaber I own.
Wow.
It's fun. I liked building it. The one thing I like is that the way you could just pop it in and out and twist it. That is better than any of the other lightsabers. But the sound is like there's like a crackle to the speaker that's not great. It's not as bright. It's fine, but it's for the price I paid. I could have gotten a better lightsaber from almost any company. So I feel like I paid for the experience of making my own custom lightsaber at Disney. It was almost like a ride, or whatever you want to call it. And I bought a couple crystals, but I also was a little bit disappointed because for those that don't know, when you go and build your own lightsaber, it's like you pay. It's not like you could buy expensive lightsabers, but then you pay a little extra and you go through this little, it's a thing, and they talk to you and you build it. But I thought I'd be able to pick from all the pieces, but it's like, no, you pick, be Guardian or Sith or this or that, and then you have to choose within that. So I chose what I wanted, and then there was like customization options in that. And I wanted to get like the emitter from one and the bottom from the other. And I was a little bummed that I was a little bit pigeonholed. But the main thing is the reason I would not buy another, even though they had Kanan Jarrus, which I just bought, and like they had Ahsoka and other characters I might be interested in, is this thing is so thick and heavy and honky. And it's just, I sound like I made a racial slur against white people, but that's not what I meant. Chonky is what I meant to say. It's hard to hold. It's heavy. It's not good for spinning. And that aside, just for display purposes, this looks puny. It looks skinny in there. When it's lit up, it's not as bad. So I don't at all regret getting this because I wanted to get it. I had specific money put aside for it and everything. And I took pictures there at Disney and everything, but no more, never another Disney one. I hate to say it, but like the Hasbro are better and the third party are better. And I'm talking Hasbro that I got like 15 years ago or better, in my opinion. Now you
I don't have any. Actually, I take that back. I do have a third party, and it's my least favorite lightsaber I own.
Right, but you had a thing where you didn't get the charging port or something. You forgot.
No, I have one now. I bought it with you.
Okay.
I haven't charged it, but I have it. Well,
I have all Hasbro, or this is how far back I go. Master replicas did them before Hasbro. That's most of my collection, and then I have two. Well, I have a third party, and Tech Advisor Azuki has a third party, and we both like our third party as well.
What third party does she have?
It's not. It's the same company as me, which I'm blanking on the name of. But it's not a specific character or Jedi. It's like a black handle with like metallic pink accents and stuff. Like it's just like it's one that she just thought was cool, and like so she just got
Nice. Yeah, saber wise, I have a short. So part of the reason I'm thinking I'm going to stick with the Disney ones.
We already have like a collection of them.
I do, yes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking if they make the first version of Ezra's.
I'm going to mute 1 second.
Yeah.
You can keep talking.
If they make the first version of Ezra's lightsaber, I might get him and Kanan to go with my two Ahsokas, and then I'll have like a rebel crew of sabers. Actually, I need to get both versions of Ezra's then for Sabine. So
you're okay. I think they do they have the new Ezra like from the show? Do they have that, or you're saying if they have that?
No. I know they have that. I'm saying the blaster one.
Right. That is one that would get me too.
Yeah.
I've toyed with getting like they have a toy one, like a real toy. I've thought about getting that. I also saw they had the Jedi Survivor, the Cal Kestis. That was the one that I was the closest to getting. And honestly, before I bought this one, I was pretty sure I was going home with a Cal Kestis. And then when I saw how big, and his is big already, and I know they make third party, and I'm like, if I want it that bad, I'll get the third party.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, the Ezra Blaster one is one I would like, and yeah, the later Ezra one / Sabine one I don't need because it's sort of like that's like the Kanan hybrid, but I have Kanan, which is the one I'd rather have anyway. So
yeah. Speaking of, I actually tonight with my little one just finished Bad Batch season 2.
Nice.
Don't watch the Bad Batch season 3 trailer if you don't finish season 2.
I haven't watched it, even though I have finished it, but there's big spoilers.
I'm really glad I waited because normally I'll watch it to get myself hyped. Right. And the thing that happens at the end of season 2, they're like, hey, remember when that happened in this trailer? And I'm like, wow, that's terrible. Why would you ever do that?
I agree. We got a comment from Matt. What does it say? Holy moly, due to someone's mention of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I decided to Google voice cast, and apparently there's a power connection with a few. Oh, okay. Do you know who, Big Dog? Or if not,
I don't. I know for One Piece, friend of the show, Campbell Cooley, did a voice for it.
Yes, but they're talking about JoJo's.
I know. I'm just saying in the realm of dubbed anime.
And of course, Johnny Young Bosch has done tons of anime, Bleach and Trigun and whatever else.
Dragon Ball.
Has he?
He's the new voice of Broly.
Oh, yep. Okay.
Yep.
I'm thinking we can go for another 5-10 minutes and then I gotta cut it off.
Yeah, that sounds good. For the adults in the chat, if you're looking for the best yet gnarliest manga there is, Berserk is quite great.
Berserk is on my, and being on my list is almost meaningless, except that
it really is. There's no point in it.
No, the point is this: something has been recommended to me highly enough by enough people or by someone whose opinion I care about enough that it sticks in my brain. And Berserk is one of those. So it's on this list of like, one day, if I have time or opportunity, I will read Berserk. Who knows what that'll be, but that is definitely on that list.
One thing in that regard that I found funny, I'm doing a deep dive just because the YouTube algorithm gave it to me, of somebody doing a retrospective on the Supernatural finale and kind of how they got there. And that was one deep cut where when we first met, my sister and I were like, you should watch Supernatural. You're like, I'm never watching Supernatural. And then some star aligned and you're like, I am binge watching all of Supernatural in 2 months.
Yeah. And then I have a jacket that looks like Dean's jacket. And then I have an actual Supernatural jacket with the demon prevention pentagram on the back. Like, yeah, I went hard. I mean, Q was a big part of that, to be fair.
Yeah. I know.
But yeah. And there's been a few times that things like that have happened. A friend of mine recommended a movie called Beauty is Embarrassing. which is about
Okay.
this artist who, among other things, had worked on the Pee Wee Herman TV show. So he does a lot of weird sculpture and stuff. And he recommended it like 10 years ago. And then like 2 years ago, I'm like, hey, I watched that movie. So like saying the list is meaningless. It's almost meaningless. It's not because I do watch and read and like they will get done, but it's almost meaningless.
I have read or seen more things that you have recommended to me than vice versa.
True. You're a better friend and you have more free time.
Half a Ninja Steel.
Yeah. And you have more free time, which is changing. But
No,
also,
we have roughly the same now. I just get
which
less
is
sleep on purpose.
recently it's changed, but
Yeah.
historically you had more free time. But the other thing is, my free time, a lot of it is spent drawing. So like even if we both have 4 hours that weekend or whatever, like I'm like I should be drawing. If I'm doing anything else, I feel guilty. Let me see. Matt says something. Johnny, funnily enough, was one of them. There you go. Gaz, apparently the wiki claims he was Jonathan Joestar in JoJo. Okay.
So I'm pretty sure I'm on chapter 2, by the way, that the Joestars are the main protagonists of this saga.
Right.
That's what I know. And I'm pretty sure Jonathan's in the beginning where it's like, I'm Jonathan. Some people call me JoJo. And start chapter 2 here.
There you go. I am familiar with what some of the characters look like, and I couldn't even necessarily tell you who is the protagonist or who the main character is. Just like, that one looks interesting. I saw a figure of that one. It's like,
I watched a video of a guy who really likes it. And I don't know why. I love watching reviews of things, even if I don't necessarily dive into them. Like, I got a lot of joy from this guy reviewing all of JoJo, and then I'm like, I kind of want to read it, but he kind of did all the legwork for me.
Well, I could see it too. I watch reviews of movies sometimes that I like, kind of don't have any plans on watching, because then it's like, okay, well, I know about that movie. I have an idea of what's going on. I was never gonna watch it, or like. So there's the same thing as like watching like toy reviews of a toy you're not going to get or can't afford or whatever. You get a little bit of enjoyment out of that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Did you? I know we didn't. Oh, we did talk about it. Never mind. We did do a best of 2023 show. I forgot.
Yeah.
That's so long.
Yeah, that was like 2 months ago.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It feels like we're 2 months. We're in February now already. It's wild.
Crazy.
I'm looking to
Something
see
about
if-
having kids makes time go by even faster than it was before. I don't know what kind of accelerator it is, but
I mean, it's slow and fast though, isn't it? Like,
I think it depends on what's going on in the day to day.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was just looking. I still have my Zap Astro Megazord in the box right there. But if you notice, the pile behind me is significantly smaller.
Hey, good job, Ninja
Thank
Steel
you.
for you.
Yeah. And one of the things I'm going to show you, I think you knew I was getting this. Let me see if I can tilt this. Oh, it's super blurry.
Ooh. Oh, I could. Oh, how is it?
There it is. There's 2 Godzillas there. The little one is like 13 inches from Godzilla, The New Empire. And that was a $45. I'm talking to Alex. We're doing our show. I'll be with you in a minute. Was a $45 remote control one that is a lot of fun. It's worth every penny. Apparently at Walmart, it's 45. At Target, it's 60, and online it's like 100. It's worth $45. I'll put it that way. The other one, however, is much more expensive and was a gift that was given to me like a year ago, but it kept getting pushed back. It's the Mezco Ultimate Godzilla. And it is the Heisei, which is my personal favorite. Like, that's the one I would want. I haven't even tried the light and sound yet because I just set it up, and I need to put the batteries in the tail, and I haven't had a chance to do it. But I spent a good chunk of today. I had a spot picked out where I was going to buy like a little plant stand kind of table where I measured it and everything. What I didn't account for is it's a figure, but the articulation is almost non-existent. It's a
Like
statue that you
5
could mildly adjust. And the tail can't be moved, and the tail is like 13 inches behind it. So I can't put it where I thought I was going to put it. And then I thought I'd put it on top of one of these cases here, but there's not 18 inches before the ceiling. And so this is my art rack where I have all my art stuff. And I literally had to rearrange it and move stuff into the garage and empty the top because that is the only place in my house that I could put it. It's great though.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's great though.
Would you say, as of now, with recency bias, it's your favorite Godzilla figure?
Sort of. It fills different needs. Like I really love that little remote control one because I've been playing it with my kid and it's like fun in a different way. And I recently got all my SH figure art stuff set up, and I bought a Gigan, which isn't Godzilla, but I'm really liking that Gigan. So like there's different thing that is my favorite big Godzilla figure. I don't think
Yeah.
will ever be one. There isn't one that's out there that I want. I don't think they'll ever make. I mean, unless they made the same Godzilla basically somehow better, that would be the only way I would,
Are you still keeping your legendary, or are you retiring it now?
No, I got it. It's downstairs.
Okay.
Legendary is more of a toy that I could bonk around with. I don't care if it gets scuffed. It has a Hawaiian lei on it. It's just like a fun, goofy thing to hang around the house. It didn't cost that much, and that's like one of the most expensive things I own. And it's like nobody should touch it and like get away. Just look from across the room. Like,
You know what I regret not getting into in the same vein that you did?
what's that?
The 18-inch Pacific Rim figures.
2 of which I have over there. But I will say this: they're cusp figures of like maybe I'll get rid of them only because the display of like where do I put them.
But like for me, this. I got the ultimate versions, which one of them I sold for like $150.
You went much harder, and I love Pacific Rim, especially the first one. But you went much harder into that toy line than I did. I basically got 2 of the big ones, and that was it.
I got all the main Jaegers.
Yeah.
And then for 2, I got about 2/3, and then I got the one from the anime.
Right. I think for me, I like big things, especially when they're supposed to be big, like a big Godzilla, a big giant man, a big whatever. But as much as I like that movie, I never liked the kaiju designs that much. I thought they were kind of generic. And so I was like, well, I'm just going to get the robots. And I think I never got Striker Eureka. And then I had a chance to, but I was already like, I don't know where to put the ones I have. And, but yeah, I may let them go at some point.
Final question, then we're going to wrap.
Hold on, we got a comment
you and
here.
I have talked about this.
Wait. Just Matt was saying another one voice actor,
I saw,
Wendy Pina. Well, the people watching it didn't see it.
I know.
Okay.
Thank you, Matt.
Final thing. Okay, go for it.
You and I have spoken zero about this.
Yeah, what?
What are your thoughts on, I'm probably going to mispronounce it already, Boonger or whatever, the new Sentai.
Boon Bonger or the new Sentai. It looks terrible. But it's probably going to be really good.
I don't think it looks terrible. The best reaction I saw to them announcing it. For those who don't know, go look it up.
It's the new Sentai that's coming out.
Look on your own. There is a trailer out. Is there like awesome? They officially don't care of anybody in America trying to adapt this because they can't.
Well, I thought that happened with the last 2.
Well, yeah.
And those looked better to me. Those looked like they're just wilding out, doing whatever they want. Haven't seen them, but they look cool.
Yeah.
This one looks like what? It looks uncomfortable, and it looks like they're kind of like in bad racing suits with like fans on their faces. And
no, those are rims.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the trailer. I've seen lots and lots of still images. What I do like though, and I don't know if this is official or unofficial, but I kept seeing one where they're all standing there and it's coming Boon, and I just thought that was a funny like.
I think it is official.
Like an English joke, kind of thing. But my experience has been when I really dislike suits, I end up liking the suits. Like I can't tell you how much I'm like Tokuger are the dumbest suits I've ever seen, and I loved it. So who knows? I will judge the cover in that like I don't like the way this looks, but I won't judge the book by the cover. I would give it a chance. But I haven't watched a new Sentai in a little while.
I haven't watched a Sentai in a little while. But
with that, we're gonna wrap up.
I was gonna say, it was fun catching up, man. Till we can again. You'll see us in some capacity over the next few weeks. If you have any suggestions on what you would like to see, we'll take it into consideration as best we can. And until next time,
thanks for those that watched live, and thanks for those that watched after. And like again, leave comments, questions, suggestions. We'll see them later. It doesn't have to be right while we're filming this now.
And I'm still the big dog.
Oh, who am I? Gazbot! And?
To the power.
To the power.
Yeah!
And credits. Hey, a little bit of talking over in credits. We've been talking so much, I got nothing to say.
I know, speaking of Tokuger, the Tokuger light stick or whatever you have there.
Oh, yeah.
Toy.
From Toki Rokugo. Oh my god, I'm forgetting what it's called.
You could say literally anything and I'd go, sure.
The Ben Streamer.
That's not right. That's not in Japanese.
Bendu Streamer.
That sounds about right.
Bye.